the astable multivibrator. So our next experiment is experiment number 8, which is monostable multivibrator. Okay. So in last class we saw in our last experiment that there are two unstable states for a stable multivibrator, and once we have set up the this circuit, after that we do not need to provide any input from outside. Okay, no external input is required for a stable multivibrator. Once the experiment or the circuit is set up, the output oscillates between the two unstable states automatically. We do not need to provide any external input, right? Now is the monostable multivibrator. Monostable means there is one stable state. Okay, so in this is a multivibrator which has one stable state and one temporary or the quasi-stable state. Okay, that is the unstable state, you can say. And level transition depends on external triggering pulse, and this circuit is known as the monostable multivibrator. So what happens actually? There are two states, one is stable and the other is unstable. So once our circuit enters the stable state, it cannot change from that state because it is stable. So we have to provide some external trigger. Okay, so once we provide that external trigger, our output will change its state from stable to unstable state. And since that state is already unstable, so it will automatically move to the stable state. Then again we have to provide the trigger to oscillate the circuit, right? So in this way, this cycle goes on. So how we shall see how the this circuit works. The circuit is similar to the astable multivibrator circuit, but the only difference is that the capacitor C2 is absent in this circuit. Can you see the figure? This diagram is showing that at the base of Q1 there is no capacitor connected. However, in astable multivibrator we had two capacitors, one connected to the base of Q1 and the other was connected to the base of Q2. But here we can see the capacitor C2 is absent, which was connected earlier at the base of Q1. Correct? We have only one capacitor present, which is connected to the base of Q2, right? So now what happens when we switch on our circuit, the transistor Q1 will be off. However, this Q2 will be on. So current will be flowing from VCC through RL1 through C1 and the base of Q2, and then it will go to the ground. Correct? So what will happen? Our capacitor C1, it gets charged. Okay, it will get charged up to VCC. Now, when we apply some positive trigger, so this will be the stable state, right? Now, when we apply some external trigger at the base of Q1, so that Q1 will turn on and it will turn off the transistor Q2. And in this condition, our capacitor C1, which has charged, may be up to half of VCC or maybe fully charged up to VCC. So it will start discharging through capacitor, this transistor Q1, correct? So this this Q1 remains in on state due to the positive voltage which is provided from the collector of Q2. So it will be this condition or this state will be there up till this capacitor C1 gets completely discharged. Okay. So once this capacitor gets completely discharged, so the collector of Q1, then automatically our Q1 will be off and then Q1 will automatically get on, right? So this is how the stable and unstable states are changing here. So every time we need to switch on Q1 transistor, we have to provide a external trigger. Otherwise, only Q2 will be conducting. All right. Any doubt in working of this monostable multivibrator?
No, ma'am.
All right. So now the applications of monostable multivibrator are they are used in analog systems to control the output signal frequency. They are used to synchronize the line and frame rate of television broadcast. Then they are used to hold output voltages in its unstable state for a certain period of time. Then they are used to moderate the tunes of different octaves with electronic organs. All right. So next experiment number 9 is the bistable multivibrator. Since these two experiments are connected with each other, or they are means the working is almost same. So that is why I'm telling you both the experiment. I will be explaining. So you may do one or you may do both the experiments today. Okay. So the bistable multivibrator has two stable states. So if our circuit is working in either of the two states, we have to provide the external trigger for both the states. Okay, so there will be two external triggers connected with the base of the two transistors. So since there are two stable states, that is why this circuit is known as the bistable multivibrator, and it changes its state when it gets triggering pulse and stay in that state until it gets another triggering pulse, right? So this is the figure for this multivibrator. So now we can see we are applying an external trigger, and this trigger is actually being divided between the bases of Q1 and Q2. All right. So in one condition, the at a time only one transistor will be on. All right. So I'm not explaining the whole process. You can actually now understand what is going on. So every time the transistor comes in a particular state, we have to provide the trigger to the other transistor so that the other transistor may be switched on, and the state of the output may be changed. Okay. So the applications of bistable multivibrator are they are used for the performance of many digital operations such as counting and storing binary information. They are used in generation and processing of pulse type waveforms. Then it is widely used in digital logic and computer memory because it provides a pulse kind of waveform, or it generates a symmetric waveform. Okay, so that is why we can also we can use them for the yeah, mostly they are used for the digital logic circuits. Okay, and the memory applications. All right, so you please start doing your experiments. Our main aim is to complete experiment number 8 today. And if you are able to perform that, you may proceed to experiment number 9 also. All right. Submit the lab notebooks on time. You may send on my mail ID. But try to submit it within time. Okay. Don't overflow my mail by just sending your notebooks. Try to submit it on time.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Now I've just sent you the file. Can you just confirm that whether you have received?
Yes, yes. I have received. Experiments. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.